Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to give you a guided tour of my garden, what I've currently got growing from last year and what I'm hopefully going to be growing in what places this year. Okay, let's get out there and have a look. Okay, to start with, got some cabbages here from last year. I had some cabbages from them and I've left these over into this year. I can still have some of the leaves off these, but they should bolt this year and get some seeds in there. I'm not going to be keeping all of these, a lot of these I'll be ripping out, but I'm going to keep one or two, get some more seeds ready for next year. Here are some potted strawberries. Yeah, these sort of produce early in the summertime, and then they sort of just don't do much the rest of the year. There's some self-seeded celery that's sort of lasted through the winter. And here's the tent. Usually I would put cucamelons in here or tomatoes, and I'm planning to again this year. They climb up the trellis here quite nicely. A few more cabbages here. Actually I had quite a lot last year. Again, I won't be keeping most of these. Some more strawberry plants here. I had cucamelons on this other bit of trellis last year, and I'll be doing the same again this year. The first potted strawberry I got, so all the other ones were runners off of this one. In this pot last year I had wild strawberries that I got from the forest, just one of them, and they have now overtaken and gone down here as well, which is all good. Another trellis what I will have something on, probably runner beans this year. A bit of a rubbish pile I've got to sort out. Compost bin, we're not going to be going in that today because stuff will be flying everywhere. As you can see, I've got a border here, and this is new. The raised beds are new on here, as last year I just had loads of pots. And there's going to be root vegetables in here, fruiting or veg, and more root vegetables here. I'm probably thinking cucumbers on here, cucamelons, and some courgettes as well. So here's my raised bed. My original one, if you can see because of the sun. I had squash in here last year, and there's still some potatoes from 2 years ago in here. That is a potato coming up right there. So this year I'm going to have potatoes in here again because they're there. And this one, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to put in here yet. I'll keep you updated with that. And that's at the back here. You can see some more strawberries coming through. These are more strawberries as well. Got quite a lot of these now, so I'm not going to be keeping any more. And this is the cabbage that's grown in a now dead lavender. That was self-seeded from last year, somehow. And so here I've got some pots. These will be having brassicas in, so cabbage, kale, or I'll be using the compost for that because these had beans in last year. I've got some carrots left over from last year. They're not really very big, but these would be used for fruiting veg this year, so tomatoes and whatnot. Bit of a dead area. This is kale from last year that I managed to save as it was destroyed by caterpillars, and I'm hoping this will bolt into the summer for some more kale seeds. These are some spring onions I've got here. I've got these from cuttings just from the shop, and they're about 3 years old now. They seeded last year. They should have died, but they decided to keep going, so that's good. I have some celery here. Obviously this is dead. And I've got more celery down here. This all just self-seeded for some celery I had over there a couple of years ago, and I've just left it to see if it would survive the winter and bolt in the spring or summer. As you can see, I've got some here, and it's managed to move the paving slab. So these are just cabbages I started to grow, and some kale there as well. Wanted to see if it would last through the winter. The cabbages sort of have. The chard hasn't really. I've got quite a few of them pots there. Spring onions here. These were from the seeds from the spring onions just over there, and they have pretty much survived the winter. So hoping as spring comes they'll mature a bit more. And some celery here. All of this celery was just from cuttings I got from the shop when you cut the end off. So this is a celery that bolted last year. I never actually collected any of the seeds, and I want to see how many I've self-seeded in the garden later on this year. And this is some more celery that's self-seeded from a celery plant in there beforehand. And there's just some more chard here. So along this bed here, I'm planning putting more flowers in this year. Again, cucamelons in there. Again, I'm going to keep one or two of these cabbages, but most of them I'll be getting rid of. Again, I'll probably put some more flowers in here to attract some more insects and bees. Along this bit here, there's going to be probably carrots or onions. Be cucumbers there, cucumbers here, and probably some courgettes at the front. These pots had wildflowers in last year, so I'm probably just going to keep them for wildflowers. There's a few more cabbages here that I'm going to plant out soon. They're not doing great, but we'll see what happens to them. Again, some of these strawberry plants I might get rid of because they don't produce that much anyway, and plus they're about 2 to 3 years old now, so they are dwindling a little bit. This space I used to have cucumbers in pots. This year I'm not going to be having as many, so I'm hoping to keep this area a bit more clear. And over here is usually where it's quite shady, especially in the summer, so it's good for celery, hoping some spring onions, and some radishes too. So that's a quick garden tour, and I shall be keeping you up to date as and when what I do. Thank you for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day.